They're dusting out everybody from Bill Clinton to Obama, from jagoff celebrities to so many other people, including everybody's favorite, nutless, spineless, heartless, world heavyweight champion, cuck of them all, Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders asked about VP Harris having less union support than Hill Dog. Oh! Bernie Sanders asked about not having a populist message. And Bernie Sanders says this, after all his hype for his good friend Joe, it's hard for me to understand why Kamala hasn't come out on that issue being the minimum wage. So if you guys want to laugh at a cuck, let's laugh at a nutless wonder, because Bernie's still here, a man who at one point had many relevance in our livelihoods, but now is nothing more than a clown. Shout out to Case Study QB. I know how you sat through this, buddy. You're made out of stronger stuff than me.
This is Ryan Sanders. He's a resident of Erie County, Pennsylvania, a proud member of the Sheet Metal Workers Union and president of the local arm of the AFL-CIO. He is also a swing voter. Sanders was profiled by the Philadelphia Inquirer today and says that while Kamala Harris is a better friend to labor than Trump,
I didn't get that memo.
He still doesn't feel like he really knows her or what she plans to do as president. Sanders says he'll probably make up his mind in the voting booth. Now, that echoes what I heard when I spoke to union members in Saginaw, Michigan, just last month.
I'm undecided because I just haven't seen enough of it yet. I need to pay closer attention and kind of do more independent research before I make my judgment.
The lukewarm feelings from rank and file union members are part of the problem that Democrats are facing right now in a race that could not be tighter. As Vox reports today, it remains the case that under Biden, Democrats have seen their poll numbers with union voters decline.
Someone should go find the railroad workers. Hey, Bernie, you cuck. Bernie Sanders, you nutless bastard. What are you going to do about those union voters? Remember those people? Oh, yeah. They really struggled hard under your friend Joe.
At the presidential level, even as the administration's support for organized labor's interests has increased. Joining me now to unpack all of this is Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders. Senator Sanders, thank you so much for being here and helping me understand this phenomenon. I think a lot of people would be surprised to know that Kamala Harris right now is on track to do worse among union households than Hillary Clinton did in 2016. And
hey, congratulations, Hill Dog. You found somebody worse than you. Is that funny? Yes, it is.
Even Joe Biden, I believe, NBC News found Biden winning only 50% of voters from union households. Do you have a theory on why that support isn't stronger given everything that the Biden-Harris administration has done for unions?
Well, I think at a time, Alex, of massive income and wealth inequality, at a time when 60% of our people are living paycheck to paycheck, at a time when we have a broken, very expensive healthcare system, time when we're the only major country not to provide medical and family leave, at a time when we have more income and wealth inequality than we've ever had. I think Democrats have not been strong enough in standing up and saying, look, we got a rigged economy. The rich are becoming much richer. You got 3 people owning more wealth than the bottom half, while working people are struggling. And we Democrats, we're going to stand with the working people.
Sorry, this warrants this. Why you always lying? Why you always lying? Hey, why are you lying? Hey, why you lying? Hey, why are you lying? Yeah, why are you lying? Hey, why are you lying? Oh, why are you lying? Why are you lying? Why are you lying? Why are you lying? Oh, why are you lying? This is why you should tune in, because you never know when you're going to get a good musical. Better than the Joker sequel. He said the line, everybody. He said the line like the cuck would. Be a good cuck.
I think Democrats have not been strong enough in standing up and saying, look, we got a rigged economy. The rich are becoming much richer. You got 3 people owning more wealth than the bottom half.
We've heard this before, Bernie. Hold on. Catalin, Cat bless. Be quiet, Bernie. Catalin is talking. Kit's rocking out this morning. Absolutely. And Sandra Porkney says, Kit's stealing all my best dance moves. That's right, I am. That's right, I am. And I'm not going to get canceled for it. All the time, every time.
While working people are struggling. And we Democrats, we're going to stand with the working people. And we're going to do the things that need to be done to improve lives for millions of people. What does that mean? It means raising the minimum wage to a living wage. And it's hard for me to understand why Kamala has not come out on that issue. It's important to point out how terrible Trump's labor record was and is. This is a guy you may recall did a call with Elon Musk, and they were laughing about how it might be a good idea to fire workers who went on strike. This is Trump giving a speech and saying, as a private.
And what about the railroad workers? What about, the Boeing workers that are going on strike too, as well? Well, what about those guys? What about them? Huh? Bernie? What about the Amazon workers? What about them? Oh, they're told to shut up, right?
Businessmen, I hated to pay overtime. Millions of people's lives depend on time and a half for overtime. Trump boasts how he didn't want to pay overtime. He appointed an extremely right-wing anti-labor Secretary of Labor. We got to make that clear. But equally important, it is no great secret that for many, many years, Biden being the exception, by the way, Biden has been very, very strong on labor issues.
He has? Then why is it that wages haven't increased? Why is it inflation hasn't increased? What about those railroad workers? Remember them? What about those shoremen workers? Remember them?
But we have got to make it clear, and I speak as an independent who caucuses with the Democrats, which side we are on. And the side we are on has got to be taking on big money, standing up for working families.
And I hear what you say about the working class writ large, but the reality is that Joe Biden saved the Teamsters Pension Fund to the tune of $36 billion, which amounts to roughly $100,000 per pension. This is a man who walked the picket line in the way that no other American president in modern history has done. Joe Biden was still only getting 50% of union support. And it sort of begs the question, is it something else? Is it actually independent of Joe Biden's record? I'm going to just take Harris out of the equation here, given, Joe Biden was only getting 50% of their support.
Hold on, Steak. This is how the Democrats talk to union workers. You want to see acting? Here's acting. Here's acting for you guys. Baby, I swear. I'm going to be better, I promise. I'll do it. And I'll stop hurting you. So vote Democrat. Please, baby. For me. We'll stop hurting you. Your friends of the Democratic Party.
Or is it education polarization? Is it? So go ahead.
The polling that I have seen suggested that Kamala is not doing as well as Biden did. And I think among working class people, there was a lot of support for Biden. Not as much as I would like to see, but there was support because he has the strongest pro-labor record of any president since Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
I wonder.
I'm pretty sure Bernie looks himself in the mirror and says, I'm a cuck. I'm a cuck. I got to say the lines because I'm a cuck. I'm a cuck.
You talk about the contrast in these two tickets, right? All of the things Trump has said, Trump's record. And then you have the filings from this month about who is supporting Trump's candidacy. It's a group of billionaires. It's Dick Uihlein, who contributed nearly $50 million to a Trump supporting super PAC. Timothy Mellon, railroad magnate, $50 million. Elon Musk, we've talked about. Miriam Adelson, $95 million. How can there even be an argument that this campaign is not in the pocket of the ultra rich? I mean, they're literally funneling hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yes, but there's also corporate donors donated to Kamala. Like it's a pot calling the kettle black. What about that?
The argument is, look, I can understand it. You're quite right. But, you know, for example, it would be appropriate to my mind for Kamala Harris to make that very point, that increasingly in America we have a political system. And by the way, yes, you're right. A small number of Republican billionaires are putting unbelievable amounts of money, but Democratic billionaires are funding the Democratic Party as well. And what we need is somebody to say, you know what, we cannot have an economy and a political system dominated by billionaires. And you know what I think? I think a lot of Republicans would say that's right, independents. Democrats would say that that's right. But I think most importantly, people are hurting. And they need to know that somebody is standing up and fighting for them.
Just not Kamala. She's on her knees. Well, all right, that was wrong. That was wrong. Trump? Nah, not so much. He's got brittle bones. No one in D.C. standing up for workers. Bernie, how long you been in the game, boy? Is your brain melting? I mean, the sad fact is, Hilldog was doing better with union workers than Kamala is. You know, something tells me that on election night, man, you are going to be sweating so much and panicking so much. Liberals, for your mental sanity, you better hope Kamala wins, man, because your meltdowns are going to be glorious. Just if you're crying and screaming, hold still so I could film you better, okay?
They're not stupid. They see the people on top doing phenomenally well. They see an enormous, unprecedented level of corporate greed. Who is standing up and fighting for them? And I think Kamala has got to be strong. Look, she's brought forth a number of very good ideas. Housing crisis, she wants to build 3 million units. Very important. Child expanding and extending the child tax credit so we deal with the horrific level of childhood poverty in America. Enormously important. Supporting the PRO Act. Enormously important. Expanding Medicare to cover home health care. Wow, that's a big, big deal. Hearing and vision. Enormously important.
Yeah, but see, the question is, why is Kamala sucking? Horrible choice of words. Why is she terrible? Why is she terrible at getting union votes? It's because she can't inspire people to support her, Bernie. Now, we're going to be hearing him cry and bemoan more, but I'm not going to put you guys through that. That's not fair. That's not fair to do to you, beautiful people. But there's an ongoing concern, folks. There's ongoing concern from Bernie that, oh no, Trump could win again. Well, why is Trump getting all of the support now? Why is it the Green Party's getting support? Why are the Libertarians getting support? Why is it that there's this huge momentum building against the Democratic Party? Maybe it's because the Democrats, well, they're with their Kamala Harris, who just really can't get stuff together because she doesn't inspire confidence. She inspires concern, fear. That's all what she can create. She's not going to make our lives better. It's going to be all the same. And I think there's plenty of people in this country that don't want that. So Democrats, this election's yours to lose. And maybe you guys win. Maybe you lose. But maybe this time you might learn your lesson. But knowing how you guys act, you're going to be blaming everybody. So get ready, folks, for the passive aggressive, the great passive aggressive of 2025, where all your favorite liberal friends are just going to be saying, oh, I guess you voted for Trump then. You're going to see it. Don't worry. It's going to come in many variations, but it'll all be the same. They're just going to be surprised that they lost because they suck so bad. No pun intended, by the way.
If you fool me once, it's because I didn't think a guard was needed. If you fool me twice, it's because I didn't learn the lesson, so it bears repeating. If you try the same play 3 times running, it's because you know what's coming, and you didn't come to lead, you came to purposefully be misleading. Democracy is dry. It's been a century bleeding. The husk is gaping open to the sky, out in the field where all the sheep just keep on circling and worrying and bleeding. They're waiting for the shepherd that they've tried to hide their faith in, but he's so appealing. They'd gladly give their fleece. It's such a freeing feeling that even when he leads them to the ledge and starts to urge them on, they're positively beaming. They were told that they were on their way to save democracy, so even as they plummet, they just gloat. They don't consider screaming. And halfway up the cliff, the shepherd's cozy little mittens wrap around the staff of shattered human hopes on which he's leaning. He shows the gentle grin that used to stir your inner spark, and he says, "Not me, us," as he gestures to the oligarchs. He knows that if he runs, they're going to stop him like a stolen car. And he'll easily surrender because it bought a lot of time for laying mines in all the grassroots. Suddenly, the tiniest of movements gets you blown apart. Suddenly, you're in a play that's set on an election day and voting for the fire, unaware you're playing Joan of Arc. Suddenly, the shepherd pulls the rug and slips a hood across your clueless mug, and everything goes zero dark. I'm gonna warn you once more before it's 2024 and you fuck around and find out who your heroes are. To take a step back from the herd, and you'll learn that you can spot who all the shearers are. If you really want to know the product that they're selling, I can take you where the mirrors are. If you think your voice is finally ready, I can tell you where the lyrics are. I hid them in a box I had to bury neath the cobble when they carpet bombed the promenade and raided all the street bazaars. Now all we've got's the marketplace, and you're too broke to even bother asking what the options for your treatment are. Suddenly, the raw debris of homeless human dignity will find it has 100 teeth for every badge and sweeper's arm. Suddenly, they speak in solidarity and each is armed. Suddenly, the sheep can see the shepherd for his truest form and all pitch in at once to help him buy the farm. And now it's zero dark, and all is calm and peaceful save the distant wail of sirens that approach beside the flames of dawn. Suddenly, the carrot's just a string that's on a stick, and all your movements make you sick because the prize is gone. Now, we could go and flee into the forest low and meek, or we can exercise our right to feast and go and graze on Biden's lawn. Because he's been sowing seeds that seep a toxin out to sap a bit from each of us and keep on leaching decades after Biden's gone. So regardless who they summon out of hell to come and do the job, it will not feel like Biden's gone. But in that time of hopelessness, you cannot trust the shepherd when he once again comes asking you to humor him his siren song. And it's cute that you can innocently, honestly assume that's just a symptom of a system that was wired wrong, and not the standard feature, basic function, primary objective of a mass hypnosis firebomb. You don't need to know the words to cry along. Someday it'll hit you like an officer who pistol whipped their ride along. Broke his jaw and kept his job and kept it moving right along. That voting isn't red or blue or black or white or right or wrong. Voting's like a firing squad where you can choose the firearm. It's slow extinction by and large. It's Super Tuesday supercharged. It's all your futures, roots and all, just tossed out on a garbage barge. It's everybody dropping out to push the biggest oligarch. It's everybody voting fire, registered as Joan of Arc.